Another headline from PBS. The other Olympians, transgender athletes in the Nazi area. Come on. Give me a break.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Hot News Today. Today we're diving into a big question. Should taxpayers still be funding public radio and TV? With media evolving so rapidly, is there still a need for NPR and PBS to be subsidized by the government? Or have they become outdated relics of the past? Let's break it down.
Speaking of saving money, I've talked a little bit about public radio and public television in America. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting, NPR, PBS. These are public TV and radio stations. American people spend about $500 million a year, give it directly to public TV. They give it to Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Corporation for Public Broadcasting picks its favorite local TV stations and radio stations, gives money to them, and the local TV and radio stations buy programming from NPR and PBS, which is loosely affiliated with the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Public broadcasting was created in a time when we had only 3 major TV networks and limited radio stations. Back then, it made sense. Rural areas needed access to news and educational content. So the government stepped in to fund stations like NPR and PBS. Fast forward to today, and we live in an era of endless options: streaming, podcasts, social media, and cable news. So why are we still spending $500 million a year on public broadcasting?
And there was a time when it was necessary because we only had 3 TV stations and a few radio stations, and people in rural areas depended on the government for their media. Those days are long gone, as we know. We now have a breathtaking array of ways to get information, everything from podcasts to Facebook to Twitter to Google News to cable TV to streaming. We no longer need to spend $500 million a year, or $500 billion a year. We've spent $14.5 billion since we started funding public radio and television. We no longer need to do it.
Since we started funding public radio and television, taxpayers have shelled out over $14.5 billion. That's right, billions. Meanwhile, private media companies like CNN, Fox News, and independent news outlets compete without government support. If they can survive on advertising and subscriptions, why can't NPR and PBS? If you agree that your tax dollars could be better spent elsewhere, hit that subscribe button right now and join the conversation. The audience is shrinking. Another reason to reconsider funding? The audience for public radio and TV is shrinking. People are turning to podcasts, YouTube, Twitter, and independent journalism for news. The demand just isn't there like it used to be, and yet we're still paying for it with our hard-earned tax dollars. Does that seem fair? Bias in public media. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room: bias. Public broadcasting was once known for playing it straight down the middle, but today many feel that NPR and PBS have taken a clear political stance. Headlines like "Trump embodies nearly every aspect of a racist" and "the hidden racism of young white Americans," all funded by taxpayers. No matter your politics, should we really be paying for opinion journalism with government money?
This is the kind of reporting that's being done today with your tax money on NPR, National Public Radio, and PBS. I'll start with NPR. Here's one of the headlines at NPR. Arguments that trans athletes have an unfair advantage lack evidence to support. That's opinion journalism. Another headline from PBS: the hidden racism of young white Americans. Your tax dollars. Another headline: AP fact check: Trump seeds race animus with COVID falsehood.
The path forward. Look, freedom of speech is a cornerstone of democracy. NPR and PBS have the right to report whatever they want, but they don't have the right to do it using your tax dollars. If they want to continue, They should compete like everyone else, through donations, subscriptions, or advertising. That's why there's a new push to end federal funding for public broadcasting once and for all. Conclusion. So, what do you think? Should the government stop funding NPR and PBS, or do you believe public broadcasting still serves a vital role? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest topics of the day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.